Alright, welcome back to the channel. It is me, 80s from 4. Today, guys, I want to do a bit of a different video. Because you guys know that I'm probably not going to be doing La Liga weekday predictions like that. I may still do major predictions thing. Maybe I might post my Twitter thing. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, by the way. Um, you know. So I was like, you know what? I was thinking about what videos to do. And I had this brilliant idea. And I have to give credit to this one person. Um, the Matt's channel. He helped me thought about a brilliant idea, and this is what I thought of. Top 10 games to watch in La Liga this season. So, maybe at the end of the season, when the season is done and over, I'll be looking to these games and see whether these games were good enough to make the top 10 and whether they weren't. Because obviously there were a lot of games I could have definitely put into this. And I definitely try to vary it up a bit, putting like high importance games, like games that are like title defining, and games that are relegation defining, games that are European spot defining. Like I try to like vary it up a bit, you know, try to mix it up a bit and try to put as a wide variety as I could, you know. And so I want you guys to do the same in the comment section below. So remember, guys, to leave down in the comment section below what games you think merits to be a top 10. And of course, at the end of the season, I'll be giving you guys, we'll be looking into this potentially and review. Remember, guys, to subscribe to the channel if you're new around. Remember, guys, we're very close to 900 subscribers at the time of recording this video. We're at 893. So we can get to 900. That'd be awesome. Remember, guys, the end goal is 1,000. So hopefully we can get to 1,000 by the end of 2022. So without further ado, let's get introductions out of the way and let's start. Of course, there'll be timestamps below in the description below for your convenience as well. Let's start with the first game, and that is Barcelona versus Real Madrid. This one is a game you should always watch. Whether you're a La Liga fan or not, you should definitely watch this game. This game is a massive game. And this will definitely be a title-defining game for sure, you know? And I'm specifically talking about the one in the Camp Nou. Yes, the Bernabeu one is exciting, don't get me wrong. I think the one in the Camp Nou will be more interesting because generally history suggests that Barcelona generally beat Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. It's usually the Camp Nou game that it's a bit 50-50. You know, usually Real Madrid is on the better side for the Camp Nou games. So let's see this season. Maybe Barca can do the double. You know, who knows? We'll have to wait and see as time gets on. And for sure, I'd say the one in the Camp Nou will be more interesting, I would say. So keep an eye upon that game. And yeah, I think we should move on to the next game. Another game that I think will be very, very interesting. It's kind of like in the opposite end here is Almeria versus Cadiz. I think this is a very interesting game. This for me is kind of like a relegation kind of battle because recently we just saw Almeria. They were able to put up a really good fight against what is it called? Real Madrid. You know, they actually led against Real Madrid at home, and we obviously know what happened. Real Madrid did the comeback with David Alaba scoring the free kick. You know. I just think for me this is a huge one because Cadiz, we know how good they are. They're very good at grinding out results, ugly, and we know Almeria is a team that is the Segunda Division champion. So it'll be interesting to see how the two styles go up against each other because I do think Almeria they play good football. I think Almeria they do play some decent football, and it'll be interesting to see how they do against Cadiz. And these will definitely be relegation kind of defining in my opinion, and it'll be interesting. So I'm looking at the one that in particular that's gonna be the more interesting one in my opinion. That will be the one on the road in Almeria versus Cadiz. That's gonna take place March 9, 2023. So that could be a relegation one. The both games will be big, but I'd say that one will be more interesting in my opinion, just because Almeria will be hosting that game. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on, man. Move on. Next one. Next, I have another huge game that I have here. It is Sevilla versus Real Betis. For me, the thing about this game that makes it interesting is I think it's a huge one. I think it's a huge game for Real Betis here. And it's actually interesting that they actually have the home game first this season. They have the away game later towards the season. And you guys can see right here, the later game is May 21st. Now, by that time, that game may not be important because, we don't know how Sevilla will do. That's probably one of the few La Liga match days. I actually want to check what match day is that. That's probably one of the final match days. Yeah, where is that? Let me just quickly look at this real quick. But yeah, for me, it's the one at the Real Betis one. That's the bigger one in my opinion. That one's gonna be huge because um, it's still early in the season, and I just feel like for me that one is a huge one. So I'm just trying to see what match day that is. Okay, so that's like around like match day 35, match day 35. So it's not going to be that important, I would imagine, by that point, but who knows? It could still be a very, very important one by that point. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, nonetheless, man, this one's the one. This one's gonna be huge. Real Betis Sevilla, November 6th. That's gonna be huge, and I believe that's one of the final few games before the World Cup begins. So there'll be a really big one for both teams there. Both teams are ambition for top four and everything like that. And I just feel like for me, this is a huge game because if Real Betis are serious about trying to get top four, they need to beat Sevilla at home. They need to beat them at home, or at least, at very least, get a draw, because it will not be enough to. Because if Sevilla win that, then that's gonna be really bad for them. And Real Betis, as you guys know, on my La Liga predictions, I did have them getting top four. Okay, I felt like we spent a little too much time with that one, so let's quickly move on. Next, we have here is another potentially a top four battle one, and that is Sevilla versus Villarreal. See, now this one's actually interesting because this one's actually coming up very soon. It's coming up in September 18th, so pretty much a month's time from now. This is a huge one because Villarreal needs to try to win this game to get top four because like I said, guys, Sevilla have significantly weakened, and for me, as I said, man, Villarreal, they need to win those kind of games, you know, and I would imagine they might put more focus on La Liga than they do in the Conference League, and I did have them finishing sixth in the league. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with Unai Emery, man. Unai Emery, a game that they must win, man. Huge, huge game. Okay. And the next I have is actually a very interesting one. We have Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal. That's actually this weekend, guys. That's actually this weekend. That's a very interesting one, I would say. Keep an eye upon this one, guys. Huge one indeed. And the reason why I think this is a huge one is because um, I feel like this game could go either way. I feel like this game is a game that is hard to call. It's hard to predict. What are the odds for this game? The odds are probably in Atletico Madrid's favor, 51%. But for me, honestly, I could see this being this could be a draw. Even Villarreal could win this game, and it's actually interesting because both teams are currently first in the table, as you guys can see right here. And I just think that for me, it's a huge, huge game for Atletico Madrid, and that if they are really serious about trying to mount for a title challenge, they need to win this game. And for Villarreal, likewise, if they're serious about trying to get to the top four, as they proclaim, as they probably should be aiming for, they need to pick up a draw or a dub here. Maybe a dub might be a bit too much, considering it's on the road, but try to at least get a point here, and then obviously win the game at home. The last Ceramica. So yeah, for me, man, a huge, huge game for both teams there. Then obviously, guys, speaking on Atletico Madrid, I obviously need to include the Madrid derby. Obviously, that one is huge. Obviously, Madrid derby. We know how that one always ends up being. We have to include this one here, and that's actually interesting because this one's actually coming up early in the season as well, September 18th, a bit earlier than expected. And for me, man, this is a huge one indeed. For Atletico Madrid, and this one's actually the one in Metropolitano. So for me, I'd say Atletico Madrid, they need to win that game at the Wanda, and for Real Madrid, if they can, if Atletico we can win that game at home, but then we then have ourselves a really good title race because I really do believe Atletico should be competing for La Liga, but these are the type of games if they don't win, they're not going to compete. Like they have to win these kind of games, and so for me, man, it'll be interesting to see whether they're able to win that game or not. Obviously, when we get to closer to the game, of course, we'll get more analysis. Just that this is just like kind of like a general video kind of thing. Okay. Next one we have here. It is how many games we have? Four more games to go through. Let's go. Let's move on and talk about Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. You know, I know we've been on Atletico Madrid for a while, but bear in mind here. It's actually interesting. Both games are at the same year, which is actually interesting. So we don't even play Atletico Madrid until like next year, which is really weird, obviously, because we know the fixtures have been really weird because the whole World Cup thing. Anyhow, this is still a huge game indeed. Obviously, this is a game that, especially for Atletico Madrid, they need to try to win that Wanda Metropolitano game. You know, because if they can win the Wanda Metropolitano game, that'll be massive. Don't get me wrong, the Camp Nou game is important too, but I feel as though that one in the Wanda is important because if Barca can get a draw or even beat them at the Wanda, that'll be really bad for Atletico Madrid for their La Liga ambitions. So, yeah, huge game in that sense. So, that it's going to be a lot of goals. We saw 8 goals in the fixture last season, so yeah, this could be a high scoring game. Potentially could be. Okay, and now let's move on to the next one we have here. It is Sevilla Athletic Bilbao versus Real Sociedad. Now, the reason why I included this one here because I really do believe Athletic Bilbao will challenge for, they should be challenging for the European spots this season, and this is the type of game where Athletic Club they simply need to win, you know, and especially the fact that the first game is at the at San Mamés, actually Anahueta, that's gonna be interesting indeed. Um, Perhaps the game at the San Mamés it will be important too, but I would imagine they need to try to win try to get a draw on a road game and try to win that home game. So yeah, for Athletic Bilbao, man, I had them coming in seventh place with Ernesto Valverde, and they already got off to a bad start with drawing at home to what is it, Mallorca, I think. Let's see, what team did they tie to? They just tied to one recently. I saw. Yeah, Mallorca at home. So that's a bit disappointing for them. And Athletic Club, they gotta seriously pick up the pace, And yeah, already, man, this is not the best start they could have had. So we'll see what happens by that time. And then finally, the penultimate game I have here is another one. It is going to be Real Betis versus Real Sociedad. Another massive game for both teams here. Um, this is a huge one indeed. I just feel as though Real Sociedad they need to try to win these games if they are really serious about trying to get inside European spots, and they're gonna likely have to battle them for the European spots, for the Europa League and for the Conference League respectively. And I just feel like for me, this is a game that could also be a top 4 decider as well, you know. And yeah, we'll see what happens here for this one. And as you guys can see, last time Real Betis played, it was a smash from Real Betis. So Real Betis, let's see what they can do because I've been really impressed with them. They've been a very entertaining team to watch, and Real Sociedad as well. So we'll see for that one. That's a huge game. And then finally, the final game I want to discuss about here, guys. Um, the final game that I want to discuss about here is Sevilla versus Real Sociedad. So another game that I also think could be important because Sevilla can, man, I think they could really struggle this season. Sevilla, I could see honestly really struggling this season, and this could be one of the games. And actually, you know what? Dang, that Real Sociedad game is extremely late. Real Sociedad Sevilla, June 4th. Anyways, the one at the Ramos Sanchez game, I think is going to be more crucial. And Sevilla definitely, if they are serious about trying to get inside top 4, the European spots as well, they need to win this kind of game. They need to win that game. So um, it'll be interesting indeed. So I want you guys to comment down below. These are the top 10 games I think will be worth watching this season. Remember, guys, to comment down below your other games. There are probably some other games like I was thinking maybe Valencia you could put there, Celta Vigo you could maybe put there because they sometimes can get an upset on Barca. You could also maybe have put like teams like perhaps like Osasuna. They sometimes can get a result. Elche perhaps like etc. I want you guys to comment down below your guys' thoughts in the comments below. So if you guys did enjoy this, by all means, please feel free to like this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're not there. Comment down below your thoughts and comments below. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.